Well, thank you, everyone. It's interesting because I have spent the majority of my childhood running from the law, uh, being in the dark, and now I'm in the spotlight. So I'm really here to speak about the irony of life, so as I was reading the TED Talk, it's an honor to do a TED Talk. That's what everybody told me. My phone was blowing up, social media going crazy. And I see this PDF, and it's very impressive, and it tells you when to breathe, what not to do, basically what I'm doing right now. Um, and then I realized I don't want to be scripted. I spent my entire life winging it, chancing it. I come from a graffiti background. I grew up in Europe, and in the 80s, doing trains and getting in trouble from my mom, the school system, everybody. Everybody got me in trouble. Um, so I figured I'm going to do the unthinkable, and I'm not going to rehearse like it says on the PDF. It tells you, time yourself, test. You got 10 minutes. I want to feel something. I am unprepared. And this is often how I paint. And I feel like somehow I made a career out of it. And now I'm kind of playing with it a little bit. So I did have to do some slides. Hopefully they'll come on. If not, I will have to describe them. Or maybe just paint them. Let me try the next one. Well, we're not doing too good today, are we? All right. Well, so they're really going to challenge my creativity here, because this slide was supposed to be gray, blank walls. Houston has many of them. And that's what I wanted to show you here. And they're not here. But we all drove by those gray walls. Sometimes there's graffiti. Ah, there you go. Look at me. This is not working? Let's try another one. And this is what I mean by winging it, right? So I'm sure we all have seen these walls. They're everywhere. Sometimes there's graffiti, sometimes they're just blank. And they really don't do anything for us. And when I mean for us, I mean for the business owner, for the community, for artists. But we look at them like canvases. And this is what happens next. When you take chances, when you go knock on the door, it transforms. These are the same walls, by the way. Just I don't know if I'm going to chance it. Before, after. Now, some of you may know these, some may not. The point is not for you to like these or not. That's irrelevant. The idea is to understand what it does to communities. It creates landmarks. It adds value to neighborhood. Honestly, it beautifies. And certainly with social media, I'm pretty sure everybody has at one point or another stood in front of a wall and had a great time doing so. So these are, some of my murals, but it's a global movement, and it's a phenomenon. So much so, this is the bragging part, I'm going to go real fast on this one, then the world started caring. And I never thought this would really be a thing. Again, coming back from a graffiti background where, for the longest time, graffiti was a dirty word, and then street art. I guess every 10 years they change our label. I was a graffiti guy, then a graffiti artist, and then a street artist, a muralist, so I'm not sure what's next. But these are some of the things that happen. Now, here's the irony. The irony is, this is where it started. No business plan. This was just something that we felt like we had to do. It was freedom of expression. These photos are from late 80s, early 90s. I got arrested for that train up there. It was a long-year lawsuit with the French government and the train company. Huge fine, jail time, the works. This is 1991. After everything went away in 1993, I continued to paint because I had to. And in French it says, peindre n'est pas un crime, which means painting is not a crime. This was my response to that really heavy fine and everything that I went through. And of course, you can see. Now, here's another irony, is from a generation of kids, because we were kids, we were 14, 15, 16, with most of us, I never went to art school, not one time. But I had that passion, I had that fuel, and nobody could take it away from me. Not the parents, definitely not the school, or I stayed in school. I mean, I wasn't, but I just had the urge to paint because I knew it felt so important, And it was fun, you know. So those are things that motivated for these things to happen. Just out of curiosity, anyone familiar with this mural in Houston downtown area? All right, fantastic. Uh, Again, you can see a wall where it really just was there and wasn't helping anything. Now, this wall, which yeah, at that point in 2014 was the largest mural ever done, it turned out it was very easy to put it together. It was just a matter of courage. I decided, you know what, this really big wall, I'm going to go knock on the door. I'm gonna make it happen. And of course, it was an expensive project. You can see the boom lifts and everything, the paint, and every door I knocked on, everybody wanted to help. Everybody wanted to donate their product. Everybody felt like this was interesting. And I'll spare you the artistic concept. Obviously, we're all familiar with Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. Now, it's holding a spray paint. So there's a whole story. And this road leads to the museum district. So the concept was not a religious mural, but it was about the preservation of street art and graffiti as an art form. And obviously, it really blew my mind on how people came to me, and you know, they felt something. People cried. I talked to people that I would have never talked to otherwise. You know, so you come from this impossible background where everybody's telling you, you know, you will amount to nothing. I had a judge tell me that. I had my grandfather tell me that. And you know, so you can take any pushback in life. This is what I took from that experience. You can use this as fuel, and I think this is true for all of us. None of this was easy. Ask my mom. But my mom she saw that I was just so passionate that it would never go anywhere. So instead, she welcomed the idea. She allowed me to tag my room and practice. So instead of blocking a passion, because that's impossible anyways, if it's a true passion, it will always surface. You can slow it down, but that's it. And now, you know, we're in the art galleries and the museums, and everybody wants to buy your stuff. You know, all the companies are chasing us. I mean, so think about this at some point when you're concerned with your child, their passion, if they're into music or else, like, you should probably nurture that. Because passion you cannot teach. Techniques and tricks you can, but not passion. So it's always about finding that passion in people and just elevating that. On that note, so what happens when you really fulfill your dream and you engage with the community? And this is just a sample. I mean, I could bore you for hours, but we all know I only have 2 minutes left. So, you know, these are walls that are around the city. And the beauty, and this has been a really life lesson for me, is after all the hard time and the praise and the big murals and the media stuff, really the only thing that truly matters is the engagement with others. You know, you change lives, literally. In fact, in the spirit of Halloween, you see this big 2-story vampire. That's pretty unlikely. Very few people would want that on their building, right? Well, actually, this was for a blood donation. This is an example amongst many. So this, it was a blood campaign for Halloween. It's pretty clever, right? What that did is the blood bank were low, like dangerously low. And this campaign increased the percentage of blood donation by 450%. So, I mean, literally, this mural saved lives. Like that. Now we can say that. A lot of the time, it's just, you know, fun times, Instagram. I've had people tell me, I got married in front of your wall. I got divorced in front of it. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I was like, how do you do that? So, you know, it's really mind-blowing, and this is why the experience, I mean, I will paint till the day I die, simply because there's no better, you know, it's so fulfilling to engage with people, and they teach you, whenever we paint, because I paint with others, and there are many like me, because this is a global movement, right? This is, in fact, the biggest art movement of all time. Street art graffiti is all around the world. Before, it was very localized. So this is a very important moment. We're in the middle of it, so it's nice, but what will be left 50 years, 100 years from now? So there's a lot of that, and you know, in my work, but also in the fact that you got to pass it on. We're just passing through. And hence, why you see interaction with children and, you know, amazing people allowing for amazing things to happen. You know, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, You know, some of the art may remain, but the experience that you go through, and you know, artists are rarely rich, you know, monetary, but the experiences are incredible. And so I thank you for that, and I will continue to paint the town. You guys have a great day.